Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and all of us at ABC Sports hope that 1982 is going to be a dandy for you. Let's talk about number one. We have matched up here numbers 2 and 8 in the national polls. Georgia figuring if they can beat the Pitt Panthers, and if Nebraska can handle Clemson in the Orange Bowl tonight, then the Georgia Bulldogs would try to repeat as the national champions. Incidentally, there have been only 2 teams do that in the UPI coaches poll. The Texas teams back in 1955 and 56, and the Oklahoma teams in 69 and 70. There have been 8 repeaters in the AP poll. The Clemson Tigers, if they can beat Nebraska in the Orange Bowl, you've got to vote the Tigers number 1. Georgia was in the same fix a year ago right here in the Sugar Bowl. All they had to do to be number 1 when it was all done was beat Notre Dame. They did. They got the vote. That's the sort of circumstance that Clemson faces tonight in Miami, Florida. The Georgia Bulldogs, on the other hand, figure that they can handle the Pittsburgh Panthers, and Nebraska handles Clemson. Well, who knows? This afternoon over in Dallas, number 5, Texas, beat number 3, Alabama, 14-12 with a second-half comeback. And earlier today, in case you didn't hear, Penn State defeated Southern California by a score of 26-10 in the Fiesta Bowl. Right now, let's say Happy New Year to Coach Frank Broyles. With us is our analyst and commentator, and for all of his old friends around the country, he's promised that he will publish his real handicap. Coach, Happy New Year.
Thank you, Keith, and same to you.
Let's talk about this Georgia football team now. We just saw Herschel Walker running the ball. Let's talk about what Pittsburgh's got to do to handle this big kid.
Well, Keith, Herschel Walker has already been acclaimed the fastest big player ever to play the game. And I think it's unrealistic to think you can stop him. You must think in terms of slowing him down, hold his gains to a very minimum. And I look for Pittsburgh to build a picket fence on the outside and funnel Herschel to the inside where those linebackers and ends can gang tackle him. That will slow him down.
All right, now Georgia is not a one-legged football team as the Bulldogs come out of the tunnel. Let's listen to the crowd and see the Dogs come in for just a moment. And from the other end come the Pitt Panthers. The Georgia record on the year, they stumbled one time, losing to Clemson 13-3. The Pitt Panthers stumbled only one time themselves. They stumbled at the very close of the year when they were trounced, and that's a fair word, trounced by Penn State 48-14. Now let's go back to the assessment of these 2 teams with Coach Frank Broyles. Georgia is not a one-legged football team. They have a quarterback, Buck Bellew, who had a marvelous year, and wide receiver, Lindsey Scott, who had a dream year.
Well, Keith, extraordinary football players, Herschel Walker, yes. I think Georgia's hopes rest in the passing of Buck Bellew. He's a winner. He started 29 football games for Georgia. They've won 27. The team has confidence in him. He has good escapability, a crisp arm, and if he can get the ball to Lindsey Scott, who has great speed, is a big playmaker, a good leaper, then Georgia has the best chance to win.
All right, the Pittsburgh Panthers now live with the blade fundamentally. They throw the ball. They depend on that big fella at quarterback, Dan Marino.
Well, Dan Marino is a brilliant quarterback. He has a strong arm. He can read the defenses. He's thrown for 34 touchdown passes. And, Keith, all coaches are in accord that a pass rush is paramount to a good pass defense. So Georgia must devise some method to pressure Marino, to get their hands up in the face, to make him throw hurry so their secondary can be close to him and maybe break up the pass or intercept it. If they don't, and Marino has plenty of time, it'll be a long day for the Bulldogs.
Well, then Marino has been intercepted 21 times, which sort of tells me that he has a tendency to force that ball sometimes.
He very definitely does. He has so much confidence in the velocity of the ball that he thinks he can throw the ball before the defensive backs can break on it. But he learned the lesson. He got a good education against Penn State, and I look for him to be very patient today.
They've got running, too, at Pittsburgh.
Well, I think that Pittsburgh needs to run the football for 2 reasons. One, Brian Thomas has rushed for over 1,000 yards. He can make yardage on his own. And secondly, if he can make yardage up the middle, Keith, this will slow down the Georgia rush and give Marino more time to select his receivers.
Where's the edge in the kicking game, Frank?
The edge goes with Georgia. They have an all-conference kicker, the freshman sensational Butler, and an outstanding punter. And if the defenses prevail, Keith, then Georgia has a big edge.
Okay. That's enough preamble. They flipped the coin. They're going to put it on the tee, and we're going to watch it with you in just a moment. First down at their own 20, and here the Georgia Starters in the backfield with Buck Ballou, the fine senior. He started 29 times. He's won 27. There's Herschel Walker. Most of you know the numbers on him. Here's one of the fine blocking backs in the country. Lindsey Scott, the young wide receiver we told you about with 42 receptions. Lon Buckler is an outstanding tight end. He had a big play in the ball game against the Florida Gators in Jacksonville earlier this season. Now here are the offensive people up front for the Georgia Bulldogs. It's a little bit makeshift because some people are hurt. Warren Gray at 239 is a sophomore. James Brown at left guard, 245 sophomore. Radloff has to go to center. Wayne's 245-pounder. Winford Hood is at left guard, 240. The right tackle is Jimmy Harper. He is a sophomore at 270. And Norris Brown, 6'3", 215, is the tight end. It is second down and still 10 for Georgia. Ball again goes to Walker. Looks for a hole on the right side. Gets it out across the 25, close to the 26. The Pittsburgh defense: Chris Dolman, Dave Pizzola, J.C. Pelusi, Bill Maas, Michael Woods, linebacker Sal Sunseri, Rick Cranack. The secondary lines up with Pappy Thomas, Tim Lewis, Dan Short, and Tom Flynn. It is third down. They need 4. Buck Ballou's roll out to the left side, goes to the sideline, goes to Scott, gets him up at the 31. It is a first down for the Georgia Bulldogs. Game. He had one completion in the Super Bowl a year ago. He's already tied that mark. Walker trying to get to the outside. This is where he gets most of his yards, but the Panthers pursue him well, and coming up out of the secondary, it's Tom Flynn, the free safety number 5, to make the good play.
I think we should mention, as we look at Walker's numbers for this season, averaging only 4.9, but he does have 18 touchdowns. Georgia is 5th in the nation in rushing offense. Pittsburgh is number 1 in rushing defense.
They're double wide to the left side. They send Walker in motion to the tight side, and Ballou straight back, getting some heat. Gets it off over the middle. He has a man, and a penalty flag goes down as the pass is completed to Norris Brown, the tight end. They dragged him short, Frank, and he was wide open.
A beautiful call by the Georgia coaches. It was a delay pattern, relatively safe, in that the tight end waited right on the line of scrimmage, let the linebacker sink deep. You can see, I would think, no, they're going to take it.
It's
about
deeper
a yard
downfield.
It's a yard deeper than the reception.
Right. There are your officials. Ken Faulkner's the referee. Zeke Martin, Buddy Coleman, Glenn Lippman.
Automatic first down.
There's the call on it from the referee, Ken Faulkner.
Man front from their 7-man front to try to meet their strength with strength. There's the total offense per game for Georgia. Very impressive, very impressive.
When we have a chance. They send Scott to the open side, give it to the up man this time, and the fullback is Ronnie Stewart, a senior out of Tampa, and he punches it down to about the 42 of Pittsburgh. This time you've got Scott wide to the top of the picture. It's third down and a long 4, maybe 5. Buck Ballou on a roll to the right side, has some time. It's picked off, and it is intercepted by Tom Flynn. As Ballou rolled out, he had 2 men to choose from. He chose the wrong one. He went for Scott, and Flynn was there.
Well, that's the time the receiver's open. Now Flynn is going to get a break on the ball. See, Flynn is behind Scott, but Ballou held the ball too long. Flynn makes his 5th interception by coming out of his front and grabbing the ball.
Panthers, as they are seen relaxing in beautiful old New Orleans. Dan Marino is your quarterback. He's a big guy, 6'4", 215. Brian Thomas, who's been their main running threat, 5'10", 185. DiBartolo is your big fullback at 212. Dwight Collins, 6'1", 210, a great leaper. Julius Dawkins, the flyer, at 6'3", 187. You won't believe it. Jimbo Covert, 279, a junior. Rob Fava, 250, a guard. Emil Boris, 265, the center. Ron Sam's guard, 269. Bill Fralick, only a freshman, 270. And the tight end is John Brown, a moderate size, 222. Again, no pressure on Marino. Goes to the short man coming across at the 39. And he is caught after a 5-yard pickup, and it was the tailback coming out of the backfield, Brian Thomas. It's third down and 10 from the 39 for the Panthers, and the third pass in a row for Marino. All day to throw it. Now they're running him around a little bit. He still hasn't thrown it. Now he unloads it, and it is checked away. Beautiful defensive play by Terry Hogue. Terry Hogue, remember him? I'm sure all the Georgia fans do, because it was Hogue who blocked the Notre Dame field goal last year in this game. The defensive unit for Georgia: Carver, Payne, Weaver, Crow, Gilbert, Taylor, Thurston are the linebackers in the secondary. Ronnie Harris, Dale Williams, Terry Hogue, and Steve Kelly. Tim Bobo, who played rover for the Bulldogs all year, hurt, will not play.
Angle, holding Walker to a short game. As we look at Jackie Sherrill, who's developed already into one of the great offensive football coaches in America. What a record he's had at Pitt.
The ball is hard so far. Goes to Stewart, the fullback. Ronnie Stewart wiggles away from one, gets it to the 19. Scott in motion. Pittsburgh with a 6-man front. They're trying to send some folks. They give it away to Walker. Walker dancing around, muscles his way for the first down, out to the 27. He picked up 7 yards on the carry. There is the greatness of Herschel Walker right there.
Truly, what a year he's had this year, and then last year, the national championship. One of the toughest things, Keith, I think, is to come back after a successful season, national championship, and have another great year. Vince has already established himself as one of the great coaches in America.
And lose early. You can't win very often in the national polls if you lose late, like Pittsburgh did in the last game of the season. Blue on a roll to the right side, looking, and he's got nobody to throw to. Blue is dropped for a yard, for about a 4-yard loss, and it'll bring up a kicking down for the Georgia Bulldogs. Sal Sunseri, who was the leader of the Pittsburgh defense, came out there, finally ran him down.
Here's the numbers for the Pitt defense. You can see how effective they've been. Total defense, number 1. Rushing defense, number 1. Scoring defense, number 15.
The football is located just short of the 26-yard line. The Panthers have it in their own territory. No score in the ball game at 5:27 to go in the first quarter. Down and 7 for Pittsburgh. Marino stands up and throws to the sidelines and hits his man Thomas, and Thomas is cut down at the 35, close to the 36. That may be a Pitt first down. Aim for the Panthers. The ball is at the 36. Double wide to the bottom of the picture. Give the ball to Thomas. Thomas runs it into the middle, gets a couple.
They've substituted for the pass rush. Took 6 back in the ball game.
Over the middle, short to Thomas. And Brian has a Pittsburgh first down as he gets the ball out to the 48.
Pass, it wears you down, rushing the pass as deep as Marino drops, as you see what a sensational year Dan has had for the Panthers. Keeping fresh people in the ball game, the rushing pass is very important, Keith.
Now Weaver's back in there. Georgia's got a 4-man front right now. Behind the line of scrimmage, down goes Brian Thomas, back at the 40. And it's 17. And Marino takes a deep drop. He hums it over the middle. He's got Dawkins out there, and Dawkins is surrounded by red shirts at the Georgia 45.
All he's trying to do is get away from the linebacker. You can see that number 14, Hogue, was trying to cover him. It was a mismatch, and Dawkins shows a little running ability right here before Hogue comes back and makes the play. 14-yard pickup.
Down and 3+. They go to Thomas. He's got a first down as he slashes to the Georgia 41. So now the Panthers are starting to make a little move.
Joe Young, the offensive coordinator, told me that Brian Thomas has made the offense go.
Watch it. Those arms are pumping like pistons, and Marino with time hums it over the middle, and he hits John Brown, the tight end, and he goes for a first down. Evan,
watch the offensive lineman protect with their hands right at the line of scrimmage, and this is a big advantage for Marino because his vision is not impaired, and he just rifles the ball to Brown for the first down.
No chance. They swing it out to the fullback, DiBartolo. Penalty flag goes down as he gets to the 21.
The ball was touched behind the line of scrimmage. Disregard the foul. No foul.
Okay. And the first quarter has run out. So we played 15 minutes of football here at the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. The Georgia Bulldogs ranked number 2 in the country. The Pitt Panthers ranked number 8 in the country. We have no score. Marino checking off to the left, then the right. Hands the ball off to the fullback. The fullback, DiBartolo, goes for the first down. He's close to it. He's close to it. Bill Fralick, the big right tackle, the freshman, 270-pounder, was leading him.
And run for the extra yardage.
It's a first down for the Panthers at the Georgia 17. 54 yards. He's hit 6 in a row. He has not hit a big one yet. Second down. And Marino gives it off inside to the fullback, DiBartolo. And a penalty flag goes down. The penalty flag was thrown away from the line of scrimmage, however.
Illegal motion, offense, Second down.
That's Brown, the tight end, in motion. They give the ball to Thomas. Thomas isn't going anywhere. Number 71 stepped in there, Kevin Jackson. Kevin Jackson is the young man who steps in behind Eddie Weaver.
The wide receiver.
Georgia fans have picked up on it too, boy, and they're all over him on it. Penalty flags all over the place now. Marino goes down. But there was movement along the pit line, and when there was movement on the pit line, the Georgia man just came after him. Marino's going to get a little heat this time. He gets outside of it, throws it short. He's got DiBartolo out there. He's going to go for a first down, close to it. They got him at about the 8. He had flooded that zone over there, and with Collins wide, he had taken a good deal of the coverage with him, leaving the fullback open coming out of the backfield. Remember, too, they're going to go is that Georgia really didn't get any pressure on Marino again. It is fourth down and about a yard at the Georgia 8.
Marino's trying to give the signal.
Going to throw it. He looked at Dawkins. He fell down. Throws in the end zone. No! It is knocked away. The Bulldogs had held. Dale Williams knocked it down. He looked at Dawkins in the corner, and Julius fell down. That took him out of the pattern. He had to come back to the deep man, and it was almost, but not quite.
Dale Williams played some last year, number 9. Watch it all the way. The struggle, because Marino has plenty of time. But watch this arm. Watch him get his left arm in front and deflect the ball. That's a sensational play by Dale Williams. The Pittsburgh defense, you got problems.
You betcha. On third down and 5. Ballou gives to Walker. Walker to their 15, maybe short of the first down. Bulldogs have got to kick it away. That'll bring in Jim Broadway, Michael Woods, and Bill Moss.
Start. They didn't make it. Good defense by Pittsburgh.
Tom Flynn is the deep man. Jim Broadway, the punter for Georgia. Flynn standing back on his own 45. Broadway gets it out. It's a pretty good kick. Back to the 42 goes Flynn. Fumble. Georgia's got it. And on the kick coverage team,
you can see Flynn, number 5, gets the ball stripped out of his hand. But watch Kane, number 84, the tight end, a good athlete, just picks it up. The ball has to be brought back to where he first recovered it. But it's Georgia's ball, a big break.
He went down, looked like right on that ball, and about 9 people hit on top of him and sent Scott in motion. Ballou back. Has some time. Now he's going to run for some yardage, and he's going to get some. And he's out of bounds at about the Pittsburgh 46. Front up there defensively for the Panthers. Ballou back. Gets his pass over the middle. The pass is complete to Walker. Shakes off 2 men. 3 men. Inside the 15. Nope, stepped on the chalk at the 15. 31-yard gallop by Walker.
Ever to play the game at any level. But watch this. This is something that Georgia added against Florida. A short pass over the line of scrimmage. Now watch this. Watch him attack the blocker. The tackler. He just breaks the tackle. Now another one Pittsburgh player comes up. And finally, short number 29 knocks him down.
All right,
not after.
Second down at 8 from the Panther 13. Ballou gives to Walker. Penalty flags all over the field. Walker trying to get around the corner, get outside. He does, but not a lot there. He's down to about the 8, but let's see about the penalty.
Keith, while we're setting up the penalty, I want to discuss that Georgia has changed all of their blocking schemes to accommodate Walker. Keith, get on the pads of the defense.
Going to the right side. He's at the 5, the 4. Touchdown!
Well, I want the viewers to watch the sense of timing that Herschel Walker has. He's going for the boundary, but watch him hesitate right here. He hesitates. The defenders overrun him 1-2, and then he accelerates into the end zone for the touchdown. Sensational run.
Is good, Georgia. Recovering the Panther fumble when it looked like it was going to be Pittsburgh to get on the board first. Georgia recovers the fumble, takes it 51 yards in 5 plays, and takes the lead 7-0 with 7:18 to play in the first half. Bulldogs, the numbers on their drive there. Pittsburgh waiting to receive the kickoff. Butler has kicked off 70 times this year. Only 50 have not been returned. Only 20 have been
blocking. The right guard, Hood, is moving in from tackle for just this ball game. Let's see what he does. Watch him turn back and block All-American Sari. Now watch Stewart, number 33, turn up and block number, can't see the number, as Walker goes in for the 96 Woods.
Ball yet in the game, so look out for him. There goes to Thomas. Big hole on the right side for Brian Thomas. And he whistles it up to the 34 and a first down as Ronnie Harris made the tackle for Georgia. 34. Thomas again. So now Brian Thomas is taking the burden of the offense for Pittsburgh, and he's finding a whole lot of operating room behind Sams and Freilich.
And Keith, the plays are right up the middle. This Georgia having more speed than Pittsburgh, but not as much muscle.
Remember the point you made earlier, too, that Georgia is a very good east-west defensive team.
You run east and west, and they snuff you down.
Ball is just far enough over the 44 for another Pittsburgh first down. Just short of the 45. Straight back from Marino. He's looking at Collins. He goes instead to the tight end Brown. And Brown
of the Georgia linebackers.
Second down and 8. And that ball off to the fullback, DiBartolo. And Wayne, a senior out of Pittsburgh, crosses midfield and gets to about the Georgia 48. Short. Thomas caught from behind, tripped up, but he has a first down as he reaches the Georgia 38. And it was Tommy Thurston that got him by the whistle. Apparently it wasn't a game official's whistle. I distinctly heard the whistle myself. It looked like there was hesitation by both teams before the snap. Back. Second down and 3 from near the Georgia 32. Ball goes to Thomas. Up the middle he goes. Down to the 25. Another Panther first down. So Pittsburgh is moving it, and they're moving it on the ground this time fundamentally.
There's 5 people Marino had to throw early before the pattern developed. As we look at the Sugar Bowl, has produced 4 national champions in the last 5 years, and they might just produce another national champion today as Nebraska is leading Clemson in the Orange Bowl 7-6.
And Alabama was defeated today. Texas Longhorns ranked number 5, Alabama ranked number 3, the number 1 vote. Marino getting some pressure, setting up a screen for Thomas. Thomas is caught from behind and dropped for a loss back at the 30.
The Georgia defense has done a magnificent job all year. Bill 8 in the secondary.
They're going to go left with this play. DiBartolo, the fullback. Nobody out there to wrestling. Now he gets some coverage up on the original line of scrimmage. He got a bunch. He got 5. Pop, 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 pop. 2. He was 4 out of 11 for the year. Longest was a 43-yarder. The hold is good. Penalty flags are flying around. The kick is long enough, and the kick is through the uprights. Let's see about the penalty.
Georgia jumped all sides, I believe, Keith.
Offsides, defense, penalty decline. Field goal good.
And with 1 minute and 59 seconds to play in the first half, it is now 7 for Georgia and 3 for Pittsburgh. Begging the coaches to play, and he's a sure-handed center. They don't want any mistakes. Here's a pass. The ball is... Oh, it is caught by Walker. Ballou, the quarterback, was hammered, and Walker was standing there trying to block for him and made the catch, and Ballou is very slow to get up. Chris Dolman, number 56, just leveled Ballou.
He is 6'6", great speed. Watch him right here. He gets right in the face of Ballou. The ball just comes out of his hand. Walker, number 34, catches it very alertly, takes off with it for an 11-yard gain. Thanks.
All right, back to the live action. It goes to Walker, trying to get around. He ain't going anywhere. Pittsburgh read it just right. Nick Brayton over there. Penalty flag goes down. Look out.
Dave Pasulli piled on. Referee dropped the flag for a 15-yard penalty.
Lost 7 yards on the play.
That ball, personal foul. Defense.
Let's watch it again. Walker is just hemmed up. You can see that, as we talked about earlier, Pittsburgh is not going to let Georgia get outside. Watch 63 right here. Take his right fifth and drive it right on to the headgear of Walker.
Definite.
Counter strategy to stop the run by blitzing, going through the gaps.
Going to put it up here on first down. Oh, boy. Goldman just misses Ballou. He gets it off. It's up for grabs. That's got... Well, I'm surprised there was some interference called. It could have gone either way, too.
Way Georgia could reclaim the national championship.
On second down, Marino, deep drop, goes short to his fullback, out of the backfield, got a first down as DiBertolo gets it to the Georgia 48, and the clock stops at 7 seconds to play.
The regular pass, and one in case something goes wrong.
Marino's going to heave it. He gets it off. It's intercepted. Oh, looky here, they got a man loose on the sidelines.
Got a tipping penalty, Keith.
Ronnie Harris and a flag thrown back at the 35. So time has expired in the first half. And the Georgia Bulldogs will go to the locker room at halftime, leading the Pitt Panthers by a score of 7-3. The two teams are heading for the locker room.
Conversation with the official was about the noise level. Jackie, can you reiterate to us what you said to him?
Well, the crowd noise, when we try to check off their wideouts, they've got to be able to hear, and they're not able to hear, and that's the rule, and they've got to. The first time he called it, he forced him back, and the second time he didn't. He made him go ahead. The wing people have got to hear themselves. In other words, the wing official. If they can't hear the audible, they've got to relate that back to the referee and say, well, I can't hear it.
You've had 5 procedure penalties, and obviously that's one of the causes.
That's an awful lot, but probably going back to the interceptions that we got, and as course the fumble punt, they wiped each other out. But the illegal procedure we had, the offensive line jumping, that caused us out of having a chance to score early.
Tell you one thing, it's a far different Pittsburgh team than we saw against Penn State.
Well, we're trying to do some things. We came out with 2 tight ends, trying to go ahead and create a mismatch, and we'll try to probably stay with it, but we're still going to come back and try to run the ball on them and force them to come up and play run defense with their defensive backs.
One thing that Frank Broyles brought out was about your quarterback, Marino, not thrusting his hands under the center, and the defense would not commit itself until he did. Now, had you picked that up too?
Well, we told him right now he'd go ahead and put his hands under the center to make a move, but they're out of that now. They're not doing it anymore, so they started a game like that, and then we went ahead and came back and put our hands under the center, but then you can't audible with your hands under the center.
Hey, Jackie, good luck in the second half. I'm with Vince Dooley, the head coach of Georgia. Vince, we've been listening to the comments of Jackie Sherrill. Can you share with us what you told your team?
Well, I think that we weren't as smart a football team in the first half as we need to be. We're playing hard, and it's always boils down to what happens the last 30 minutes.
Are you aware of the scores coming through from the Orange Bowl as your team?
I have not heard one score.
Okay, fine. Back to you, Keith.
All right, Bill, thank you. The offensive alignment, Marino the quarterback, Thomas just carried the ball. DiBertolo had a big first half now. Bertolo had a very fine first half. Collins and Dawkins were pretty much shut out in the first half. The offensive front is Colbert, Feda, Boris, Sams, Froelich, and Brown. Brown was also a prime target bird from their own 27. Go back to Thomas. Thomas can't find anything up the middle as Georgia stacked it there, but he skitters outside and goes to the 31 for a first down. The defensive unit for the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's take a look at the big guys. Dale Carver at end is 215-pound junior. Jimmy Payne, 243-pound junior. Eddie Weber is a 270-pound senior. Tim Crow, a 232-pound junior. And Freddie Gilbert, in the ball game. And Marino back to throw his first pass of the second half. He again has to go short to his fullback, who had come out on the delay and just standing out there all by himself, and Georgia has not covered that play yet in the game. The Georgia secondary and linebackers are these. Nate Taylor is a 198-pound junior. Tommy Thurston is a 215-pound sophomore. Ronnie Harris, a 180-pound junior. Dale Williams, big play in the first half, 168-pound senior. Steve Kelly, the center fielder, 173-pound senior.
The second quarter belonged to Pittsburgh. They've gone ahead of Georgia in every category. 9 first downs to 6, leading in yardage, passing, total yards, offensive plays, and time of possession. The extra turnover was meaningless the last play of the half.
You're guessing right now. 3rd down and 1. It's Thomas. Gets away from one-man Hogue, and then he is thrown out of bounds as he picks up the 1st down up around the 44. Double wide, bottom of the picture. You see him there. Marino looks at him, goes the other way, and he hits the tight end, Brown. And John Brown, a 6'4", 222-pound junior, makes the catch.
He throws a bullet. He gets that right foot and watch the ball take off. Very little time for the defensive backs to break on it. Completion, 12 yards to Brown, the tight end.
Well, Brown now at the Georgia 44. And the fullback, DiBattista. And look at him rumble down to the 30. And the Panthers come out blowing in the 2nd half.
They put an extra blocker to make Georgia square up the defense. Running back to the short side, you can see there's nobody there. DiBattista makes Williams, number 9, miss him. Finally, Taylor slows him down a little bit. Hogue 14 makes the tackle. Not before.
Straight back goes Marino. Still no pressure on him. Over the middle, Dawkins. Touchdown, Panthers. The season knocks it straight through. And Pittsburgh has taken the lead over the Georgia Bulldogs by a score of 10-7 as they march it 80 yards, and here's the payoff.
Watch Marino plant that right foot, and when he does, watch the velocity. What a classic drop-back passer. The ball is right on target. The Dawkins, number 80, that's his 16th touchdown pass of the season. Now Georgia has really been tested. You can see the lineman on. Dawkins was lined up on the line of scrimmage. He's going to run a quick post, and the ball is right on target. Georgia does not have a safety man. If the ball is thrown quickly enough, Dawkins is free, open, before Kelly, number 23, the safety can move back in and make the play.
The big people up front defensively for the Pitt Panthers. They're not quite as big as the offensive guys. Chris Dolman, we told you about, the 6'6" freshman. Pozzoli weighs in at 248 at tackle. Pelusi at 251 middle guard. Bill Maws had a good first half at 260-pound sophomore. Michael Woods, defensive end from Natchez, Mississippi. Making some mistakes here in the early going. The secondary and linebackers for Pittsburgh. Sunseri, a 220-pound senior, hometowner. Cranack is another Pennsylvanian at 216 pounds. Pappy Thomas, that's Pascagoula, Mississippi. He's from Lewis, weighs in at 195. Dan Short comes in at 204, and Tom Flynn 195. Walker got some daylight. And Herschel is up to around the 25. So as they spot it, take a look at the Georgia offense. Ballou, Walker, Stewart, Scott, and Buckler. Buckler has not seen the ball today. Guys up front are Gray, Hood, Radloff, Brown, Harper. Down and 7 from about the 25. Ballou's pass is away over the middle. Oh, my goodness, it's almost picked off. Flynn had it right on the numbers and didn't come up with it. I mean, he stepped right in front of Buckler and had it and might have scored, but he didn't hang on.
Well, that was a sensational play by Flynn. He's got deep responsibility. He gets a read on Ballou, the quarterback, and releases and comes up in front of Buckler. Could have come away with an interception. Dropped it.
Jim Broadway is in to punt now for Georgia, and Flynn goes deep. Broadway standing on the 10, ought to hit it around the 14. And Pittsburgh's got 9 white shirts up there. Nope, now they start to peel off a little bit. They get some outside pressure, though. The punt is out. Pretty good hanger. Flynn coming over, waves his arm for a fair catch. And that's what it'll be, back around the 32-33. 42-yard punt with no return. 10:56 to play in the 3rd quarter. And the Pittsburgh Panthers are leading the Georgia Bulldogs by a score of 10-7. Well, I think the burden of proof now has shifted, Frank, over to the Georgia defense, because the Panthers come out in their first possession of the 2nd half and stick it in the end zone from 80 yards. They've now got the ball at their own 33. It's put-up time, I believe, for the Georgia defense.
The Georgia defense continues to defend and give Marino all the time in the world on his passing.
As he goes under center, they jump around, reset themselves, and they get Brian Thomas behind the line of scrimmage, and it's done by big Jimmy Payne. Here's a look at him doing his thing.
Jimmy Payne is 6'5", but his main asset happens to be his quick feet and his quickness. And you can see him right here take on the blocker and then come up and tackle Thomas for the loss. Just an outstanding play. Jimmy Payne, all conference, both last year and this for Georgia.
Loss of about 2, second down, 12. Ball back near the 31. Here's Marino giving his signals, his audible to the wide people. Georgia had set themselves, however, this time, and Marino back to throw it. Well, that's the first time Georgia has been able to fight its way through and make a tackle on Marino behind the line of scrimmage. Ready? All right, from the 25. On third down at about almost 19. Marino going to put it up. Penalty flag down. Throws for Brown. The pass is incomplete. Linesman threw it. Hurt his knee in the final game of the season against Penn State. High snap. But he handles it all right. He sort of jerked that one sideways, and it ricochets out of bounds around the Georgia 41.
Very effective, crashing across and holding Walker inside.
They've now rotated their defense and moved Ullman, the big pass man, to this side as Ballou goes straight back, and they're after him. He gets it off short. The pass is complete to the tight end, and Norris Brown takes it up to about the 46 before his feet are taken from under him. They are short of the first down, but they've certainly increased their possibilities on third down. Walker won't get it. He won't get it. Mazzoli, Oz, Belusi, big guys in the middle.
One of the worst plays to run against Pittsburgh on third and long.
Little pressure on him. Fair catch is called. It is fumble. Georgia's after it. Goes out of bounds. It's out of bounds. It'll be Pittsburgh's ball.
Instead of trying to recover, it's trying to really knock it back towards the goal line. Watch it right here. Now Pittsburgh touches again. 18. Hope jumps up. The ball is up in the air like a basketball. 74 finally has it, knocks it back, but it goes out of bounds. Pittsburgh's ball.
Thomas fumble.
Georgia's got it.
Inside the 10. Eddie Weaver.
Let's watch it again. It's faulty ball handling. A pitch back to Thomas. He takes his eyes off the ball. He dribbles it, and Weaver comes in behind number 61, falls on it, and Georgia's got a great opportunity.
10-yard line. That's Stewart in motion. Ballou to Walker. Outside for the corner. It's a foot race. Touchdown.
Walker seldom runs where the play is designed. He's supposed to run up the middle, but look at his quickness. He has such speed that he can bounce outside. Pappy Thomas, number 9, is a senior halfback. He can't get him down. Walker goes in for the touchdown. One play from the 10-yard line.
Well, that's
against Pittsburgh defense.
Butler's kick. Missed it. I'll tell you, Butler's squawking because he felt there was some roughing as the Panthers came piling through. It's been a long time, Frank, since I've seen both teams doing this much talking to the officials. They're really talking at each other. 6:42 to go in the third quarter. 13-10, Georgia back on top. The story on Georgia's second touchdown of the ball game. Walker getting them both. Butler missed the extra point.
Pittsburgh got the ball last time. It was up to the Georgia defense to rise to the occasion, and they did. Got the ball right back and took it in to score as we look at Herschel Walker. Not his usual average, but really 2 sensational runs for touchdowns, giving Georgia the lead.
Up with a 4-man front. On the 2-down lineman, they give it to Thomas. To the outside he goes. Oh boy, he's quick. And Bryant is all the way across the 35 to the 37. That's Thomas. Pittsburgh's finding running room right up the middle. as Sams, Feda, Covert, Freilich, and Boris are opening holes. 5 to play in the third quarter. Clemson is leading Nebraska, starting the second half, 12-7. Marino shoots it to the sideline, hits his tailback, Thomas. Brian Thomas looks to me like far enough downfield to claim another first down for the Panthers around the Georgia 42.
Look downfield, see his coverage, and then throw to the secondary receiver, Thomas, out of the backfield, making the first down. Georgia's coming with a blitz.
And they run it right up the middle with Brian Thomas and get big yardage on the play, down to about the Georgia 36.
5.5 average, Walker 51, 2.8.
Walker has 2 touchdowns. Fumble! Georgia's claiming it, but I haven't seen a man wearing a striped shirt say it yet.
Yes, the far judge signaled Georgia, but I'm not sure.
Yep, there it is. That is the 3rd fumble and the 4th turnover for the Pitt Panthers. Well, Crow strips it out of him. Tim
Crow
Crow
is number 91. Let's see his
91.
right arm.
Right there.
His left arm right there. Strips the ball right out. And then I believe Gilbert, number 90, is the one that recovers it.
Hogue,
We'll never know
it
from this view.
Hogue came up with it.
Yes, that's right. I guess.
So 35 as the Panthers fumble it away. Pass thrown out, complete to Ronnie Stewart, the fullback, coming upfield across the 40. So Ronnie Stewart gets into the offensive flow of things. The play is good. And a penalty flag.
Happy Thomas hit the Georgia player in the face. Besides, I don't know. Dead ball, personal foul. Here. Dead ball, personal foul. Offset, second down.
Tempers are a little ragged.
Well, there's a lot at stake.
All right, second down as Ballou rolls it. Sets up. Gets out of there. Fumble. Picked up. No. Pittsburgh gets the ball. Pittsburgh's got it. And penalty flags are thrown downfield, stopping the play. Sunseri finally came up with the ball.
Once again, the college rule, you cannot advance the fumble by the opposing team. That he had fallen on the ball rather than try to pick it up.
Yep.
Because he lost control and Pittsburgh recovered. You can see that the secondary of Pittsburgh had the receivers covered. The ball pops out. Brown right here should have just recovered the ball. Instead, he tried to pick it up. Pittsburgh gets it and has another chance.
Well, Georgia now turns it over, so they got 5 defensive backs in there.
And Georgia defending again with 3 men rushing.
Marino runs it up the middle and goes for a first down. So a quarterback draw is good for a Pittsburgh first down just over the Georgia 45.
Why would the quarterback draw work so effectively? Georgia with a 3-man rush, rushing them in to the outside, leaving the nose man Weaver, the only man to stop the run. They double-team Weaver.
Thompson over Nebraska in the Orange Bowl. They're in the third quarter as well. First down for Pittsburgh. Here's Brian Thomas with the ball. And Thomas he's going to get 4 yards on that carry, down to the 41. Joe Crimmins made the play. He is from Eustis, Florida. Calling his play at the line of scrimmage. Quick shot to Dawkins. Dawkins on the sidelines hits the chalk down around the 32. Seconds to play in the third quarter.
You can see how impressive Dan Marino has been. 19 out of 27, 1 TD, 1 interception.
Georgia sets a 5-man front defensively this time. Now they drop off. Penalty flags are down. DiBartola bangs it in there. For about the 28.
Now we've got 2nd and 10 into a passing situation for Pittsburgh.
To regain the lead. He goes to Thomas. Oh, he almost popped out of there, didn't he? Second down 8. Swings it out to the fullback, DiBartola. To the 21. That's the first down for Pittsburgh. And so we've got 15 minutes to play, and the Panthers are on the move again. He looks like that guy was running up down my hall last night. The ball is on the 21-yard line of Georgia. First down, Pittsburgh. for the corner, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ronnie Harris. And Harris comes back to the 18. He tried to force it, and it didn't work. That's 5 turnovers for Pittsburgh. Go to Walker, and Walker saws it up the middle, and the ball came loose. And Pittsburgh's going to get it, I think.
You can see the linebackers going through the gaps. Walker has the ball, but is stripped out on the right side by number 66, it looked like. Salisbury, the ball bounces out. It's covered by Woods, number 96.
They go to Thomas. Thomas cuts it up the middle. And a helmet goes flying as Brian Thomas slashes literally to the 15. Didn't have it tucked away. Panthers poked it loose. There's the man that recovered it. Michael Woods. Thomas up the middle, to the 10, to the 8. And he's got a first and goal to go for the Panthers. First and goal from the Georgia 8, goes to Thomas again. Cuts back off the sweep, gets it to the 6.
Instead of making no gain, picked up 3 or 4 yards.
Marino on a roll, puts it in the air, touchdown, goes to John Brown.
Touch. Watch Marino take something off of the ball. Brown is wide open. You don't drill the ball in, you just lay it up. Look at him floating. Tissue paper all over that ball. Good hands by Brown. Breaks it in for the touchdown.
And so with 11 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the football game, it's Pittsburgh 17 and Georgia 13. First and 5 from the 25. Loose pass to the sidelines. Butler has it. And he's knocked out of bounds up around the 31. That'll be good for a first down. I meant when I said Herschel had a hard day. That further amplifies the prowess of the Pittsburgh defense.
That certainly does.
And then some, I think. Ballou ducks it off to Walker. Walker to the outside, up the sidelines, takes on the pit man Thomas, and he's rolled out of bounds up around the 44.
To the blitz. Come on, dog! Come on, dog!
He's going deep, and it's got, and he had it, and he couldn't hold it when Pappy Thomas came across and belted him. On second down and 10, give the ball to Walker, caught in the backfield. He was looked like Pelusi, number 52. Jay 6 times for the loss of this ball game. Ballou has a little room, going to run it. Looking for the sidelines, takes it back up the middle and breaks out of the pack. And carries the football across the Pittsburgh 35 down to about the 33, and he comes up hobbling.
Well, that's something to ignite the Georgia fans and get them fired up. Here's Ballou doing something he wouldn't do last year. The receivers are covered. When not to throw is important. Now he's going to scramble. You can see Thomas, number 9, Craddock, number 56, trying to make the tackle, miss him, and finally playing number 5 brings
down Georgia at the 34. They go to Walker. And Walker's still going. He's out of bounds. An incredible burst of speed and strength by Herschel Walker, and it's down at the 10-yard line. Tom Flynn saved the touchdown.
Watch the run. Watch the power. There's nothing there. There's no blocking. He cuts inside. Watch him just run right over All-American Salisbury. Then he throws the burst of speed. Flynn, number 5, finally gets to him and knocks him out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
Ballou rolling out. Keeps it. That's down to about the 6. If he'd cut it back the other way, he'd have scored.
Walks in for the touchdown, but once again, Ballou shows good judgment. Receivers covered.
Pressure from the backside. He's in trouble. He loops it in the air. He's got a man. He's got a touchdown. Clarence Kay.
Keith, there's two things about the touchdown pass. Ballou getting it off under adverse circumstances, and the great throw and catch by Ballou and Kay.
20-17, Georgia, 8:31 to play. Clarence Kay, who just scored his second touchdown of the 1981 season. Of course, he didn't really fit into 81.
I think we ought to watch Ballou and watch Michael Woods, number 96, come in from the right of your screen. Ballou never sees what happens. He throws the ball, he goes to the ground, and the only reason he was a touchdown, the Georgia fans start cheering. Clarence Kay, number 84, good hand, looks the ball in and touchdown.
Second time this year. So he's got to be happy. Buck's trying to get the cobwebs out between his ears, I think, after the way Woods hit him, because he really leveled him.
Woods has 13 sacks for the season. He's the key man in the Pittsburgh. Oh, this is a crucial third down call for Pittsburgh.
It's a good football game, Frank.
It's a great football game. We've seen some tremendous games all fall. College football, exciting. This is a typical game.
Third down and 5. He goes for Dawkins, and he nails him, and he is shoved out of bounds up across the 40. Second down and about 7. That's DeBartolo, the fullback. He's a bit of a bulldog himself. He gets it up to midfield.
Two tight ends, power attack.
Rolls it out, wants to throw it. Gets it off, throws it to Crowd. Well, there was some pressure from Jimmy Payne. Payne came all the way from the other side. Back there, but they got 3 men up short, and they do snap it to Tom Flynn, and Flynn will not get the first down. Georgia smelled that all along because they just, I think, some reason you almost expected it to happen, and Kevin Jackson brought him down, number 71. Crowd in there with Buckler, the wide man. That's Walker. Good coverage outside by Pittsburgh. And they've got him around the 47.
Throwing the ball and trying to make the first down and keep possession and the ball away from Pittsburgh.
Kick is away. Man came blistering through and decked the punter, Broadway, which got a big roar from the crowd.
Keep under the college rule, if the man charging in the kicker is blocked in the kicker by one of the teammates, then it is not roughing the kicker. Let's see if that's not what happened. The fullback on the right of your screen is going to block Dolman, I believe it is, number 56, into the kicker.
That's Michael Brooks.
Yes, you can see that the offense that Stewart blocks it into the kicker, therefore it's not roughing.
Stewart knocked him right into it.
Stewart knocked him right into it, number 50.
That's where Pittsburgh gets it. So the Panthers get pretty good positioning out of that. Little stand-up pop pass from Marino to Dawkins, and it's good for about 5 yards. Get to the fullback, Wayne DeBartolo, and he rumbles along up pretty close to the 30. There's that play. That time they sort of covered it. That time, Dale Williams, who made the great play in the end zone earlier in the ball game for Georgia, who sensed that one coming, and he almost got there in time to get a piece of it. Marino back. He goes short. He's got Thomas, who breaks a tackle and goes big all the way up to the 48.
For the Georgia football team. But Thomas showed what he can do in an open field.
Second down and 8. The ball at midfield. Give it to DeBartolo. And he muscles his way for almost 4 yards. And about 4. Marino's going to throw. He goes short over the middle, and Thomas didn't come up with it. You know why? Because I think the umpire obscured the vision.
You're exactly right. Right over the middle, the umpire stepping up, watching the blocking. You can see the umpire's feet coming up. The ball obscured his vision, goes right through Thomas's hand.
Quarterback draw, Marino, first down. Called his own number.
Is that a gutty call? Fourth audible.
He's looking at him. He goes short over the middle, and the ball is incomplete as he drills Thomas on the numbers. He really threw it hard, and Bryan couldn't hang on to it and took a hard lick. It is second down and 10 for Pittsburgh. The ball is near the Georgia 38. Trying to gut it out here against dangerous Dan Marino. There's the screen set up for the fullback, DiBartola. Did he fumble it?
Yes, he did. Pitt got it back.
Short drop. Marino sets up now. He's looking for the man over the middle, and he can't get him. It's incomplete. Dawkins was trying to come back to help his quarterback, and he couldn't find his way through traffic. 1.5. Could be the last play for him. Marino goes deep. Brown, touchdown! John Brown makes a great catch with 35 seconds to play. Touchdown pass. Marino to Brown, and the Panthers have it 24-20 with 35 seconds to play, and here's the touchdown.
You can see the blitz. Marino drops very deep. He puts air on the ball, hangs it up. You can see Kelly, number 23, the safety man, was beaten by the tight end Brown for the touchdown. Watch the blitz. Watch Marino plant that back foot and put air onto that ball and let Brown, the tight end, run under the ball for the touchdown before Harris can come back and try to help.
Give Brown full
Now
credit here, though,
Brown,
Frank, because he takes a heck of a hit just as the ball gets there.
You can see that Brown, he has good speed, 4.6 for a tight end. Makes a little fake, and he turns Kelly. He turns him around on the fake. Kelly, the safety man, number 23, is beat. There's the question whether Harris, the right back, halfback, can come over and make the play. He can't, but he does hit Brown, but Brown holds on to the ball for the touchdown. Go!
Block for Georgia. Ballou back. Pressure's on. Runs away from it, gets it off over the middle. It is intercepted. It is picked off by Troy Hill. And that stops the clock at 17 seconds to play. And this 28th Sugar Bowl game should belong to the Pittsburgh Panthers. 14 penalty flags, and they win the football game as the clock runs out by a score of 24-20, and Jackie Sherrill is getting the ride. Now, if we can find our partner Bill Fleming in that melee, I'm sure he's going to talk to a very happy Jackie Sherrill.
It's awful hard to get in here because Sal Sunseri is giving Jackie the biggest hug he ever had in his life. Jackie, turn over here for a second. Oh, wait a minute. He wants to see Coach Dooley. He wants to see Coach Dooley for a minute. Here they are. Jack, I know the emotion that must be in your heart in winning this one, probably the biggest victory in your career.
There's no question about it. You know, all year long we got better and got better, and then we certainly, I think, when we had a disappointing loss against Penn State, everybody had to reach back and get some. You know, like I said, you know, our players are winners. They've been winners. Some of our players only have lost one game. Some only lost 3. Some of us only lost 2. And it took, even when they got down today, they still had to suck some back up, stay there, and just keep coming back, and they did. They never quit, and they're really a great football team.
How about that last play, that heart thumper in the end zone?
Well, you got to give Danny and certainly John Brown credit on that play. Danny knew that he had one play left, so he went back 13, 14 yards on the snap instead of regular 9 yards, and he read the field, and he just hit John, and John did a great job.
Boy, I can tell you they're tearing Pittsburgh apart right now.
Well, I hope they are. You know, you got to give the players credit because, you know, we got tired. They still kept there, but they did a great job.
Congratulations to your team.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So that's it, a stirring victory for the Panthers, 24-20, and we'll be back for more here in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, where it is pandemonium. Pittsburgh has defeated number 2 Georgia.
Dan Marino is the most valuable player of this 1982 Sugar Bowl game as Pittsburgh defeats Georgia 24-20.